Thwomps are some of the most memorable Mario enemies, especially when it comes to their voices. This strange grunt was used as the voice of Thwomps for over a decade. But where exactly did the sound come from? Whose voice is it that we're hearing? Well, in this video, I'll be going through some of my favorite Nintendo music secrets and mysteries. Like, did you know there's a whole bunch of music that was cut from Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, but can still be found in the game's data? Or have you ever tried to figure out the meaning behind the strange voices in Ring Fit Adventure's music? And did you spot the in-game band which performs Splatoon 3's menu music? Let's take a tour through some interesting and unexpected Nintendo music secrets. Number 1. I've always been fascinated by cut content. In other words, pictures, text, and audio that's sitting on game discs, but never gets seen by players. The Cutting Room Floor is a wiki dedicated to uncovering all of this cut content. And sitting on the game disc of Super Mario Galaxy is a song which players can never hear in-game. This song is called BGM in Bubble, so clearly it was intended to play when the player was in a bubble of some kind. Now, interestingly, while the song can't be heard in the finished version of Super Mario Galaxy, in early game demos from 2006, the original purpose of the song is revealed. Played for just a few seconds before the player popped a bubble surrounding Mario. However, it seems that sometime between those early demos and the final game release, this nice, calming harp song ended up being cut. Number 2. Now, while we're on the topic of cut Mario music, let's jump to the next 3D Mario game, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, while Super Mario Galaxy only had a handful of cut songs, including the one I played, Galaxy 2 is a different story. There's sped-up versions of boss themes that never play in-game, early unfinished tracks, and that bubble song from Galaxy 1 still unused. But what's way more exciting than any of that is 3 songs which were cut from the game's files after being almost completely finished. First is an unused map theme labeled World 1. And then there's a second unused map theme for World 2. But my absolute favourite track is the next one, which is a full, unused Galaxy theme. Now, the song was cut before it could be recorded by an orchestra, but other than its use of synthesized instruments, you'd never know this song wasn't a finalized, finished theme from the game. It's incredible that this piece of music is just sitting there on the game disc. Wow. Number 3. Next, let's talk about Donkey Kong 64. This 3D Donkey Kong game was developed by the British studio Rare, with music by composer Grant Kirkhope. Kirkhope did a great job iterating on Rare's Donkey Kong Country music. Plus, he added in a few cheeky winks to some even older Donkey Kong music and sound effects. Let me play you the music from the game's 7th level, Creepy Castle. Does that harpsichord melody sound at all familiar? For comparison, let me play you the jingle that plays when you start a level in the original arcade Donkey Kong. Kirkhope took that iconic jingle and used it as the basis for his Creepy Castle theme. It's even in the exact same key. Number 4. The Splatoon series is known for its in-universe music. In Mario games, the music you hear is only for the player. It's what's known as non-diegetic music. In other words, music which isn't actually playing in-universe. It's only there for the player's benefit. Splatoon, on the other hand, makes heavy use of diegetic music. When you're in the stage audience listening to Splatoon's idols sing, that music exists in-universe. The game characters are hearing the exact same thing as the player. And it's not just the idols. During Splatoon 3's tutorial, the music you hear in the background is actually from an in-game band, Seaside. But there are exceptions. The song What's Your Style, for instance, which plays before the tutorial proper when the player is creating their character. Now, in Splatoon 3's in-game jukebox, this song is named, and it has a kind of album art, but it has no listed artist. Does that mean it isn't being played by an in-universe band? Not exactly. Because in the stage Mahi Mahi Resort, we find a band of jellyfish performing off to the side of the stage. And take a listen to the song they're playing. That's right, it's What's Your Style from the character creation screen. Now, of course, the band could be performing a cover rather than having created the song themselves. But either way, we finally have a band to attribute this mysterious song to. Number 5. Ring Fit Adventure's soundtrack has a number of mysterious voices found on it. Most of those are likely gibberish, nonsense words similar to those found throughout Splatoon. But there is one set of voices that fans have managed to decode the meaning of. It's these 4 words.
Ass trap insert.
Ab Trap Del Sol.
Ass trap insert.
If you're up on your muscle names, those 4 words may sound familiar, because each of them is short for a major muscle in the body: abdominals, trapezius, deltoids, and soleus.
Ass trap insert.
Now, I should be clear that this was all ascertained by ear. There's no proof that Nintendo's composers had those muscles in mind when they recorded the voice heard throughout Ring Fit. But for a game all about muscles, well, it doesn't seem like much of a stretch of the imagination. Number 6. Next, let's talk about Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64, which has a truly excellent soundtrack written by my favorite Nintendo composer, Kazumi Totaka. Totaka is one of Nintendo's most prolific composers, having worked on Mario, Zelda, Yoshi, Pikmin, Animal Crossing, and more. Interestingly, Yoshi's Story is the game in which Totaka began providing Yoshi's voice, which he still does to this day. But what I want to talk about right now is Yoshi's Story's soundtrack. Not the music, but the actual CD soundtrack release. Yoshi's Story got 3 official soundtrack CDs, one for America, one for Europe, and one for Japan. And in the Japanese version, there's a bonus song not found in the other releases, called Yoshi's Staff's Voices. This is a remix of the game's main theme, but with a twist. Take a listen.
手塚隆です。結構何でも食べます。仕事中スルメがとっても美味しかった。
So yes, as the name implies, this remix features the voices of the Yoshi's Story development team. Each staff member was apparently asked about their favorite food, and Totaka remixed those responses into a 7.5-minute long song.
中郷俊彦です。好きな食べ物は、お肉とお酒。
若いです。私の好物はカレーです。
小高和美です。やっぱりカレーかな。
There's 26 staff member voices that appear on the track, which makes up the vast majority of the dev team. In fact, there's only a handful of developers who don't appear, which is super impressive. A lot of these developers are fairly elusive, never having featured in an official Nintendo interview before or since. And so, this song offers a unique glimpse into their personalities, and of course, their voices.
井田康です。
奥さんの手料理ですね。
ごちそうさまでした。
Number 7. When Super Mario 64 was released in 1996, Nintendo decided to give all kinds of previously voiceless characters voices of their own. Obviously, Mario is the most famous example.
It's me, Mario!
But almost every classic Mario enemy, from piranha plants to Koopa Troopers to Thwomps, received brand new voices. This slightly bizarre grunt was used for Thwomps from 1996 all the way up to Mario Party 8 in 2007, and it's still cropping up for Thwomps in modern Mario games. So where did it come from? Well, the answer might surprise you. That voice is actually Charles Martinet. Charles Martinet was the longtime voice actor for Mario, but edited versions of his voice were also used for Bowser and the Boos. And take a listen to this grunting sound. That's the voice of Charles Martinet. Super Mario 64's sound designer, Yoji Inagaki, simply slowed down the recording to make it deeper, which is how we ended up with this. But that isn't the only voice for the Thwomps. In Mario Kart 64, they have this evil-sounding laugh, which is actually a slowed-down recording of Wario's voice. Wario's voice clips were recorded by a German translator at Nintendo called Thomas Spindler. So Thomas Spindler was the voice of Wario in Japan at the time.
Wario, I'm gonna win!
But in the English version of Mario Kart 64, his voice lines were replaced with new recordings from, yet again, Charles Martinet.
Here I go!
Here is Wario's laugh. And then here's the slowed down version, used for the Thwomp. Which means that, at least in the English version of Mario Kart 64, the Thwomps are yet again voiced by Charles Martinet.
Woohoo!
But that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to all of my patrons for making videos like this possible. In particular, a special shout out goes to Alison Withernall, Brandon Pimental, Brett and Eric, Candy Crystal, Cyprian Eof, Daryl Jero, Ellie Birnbaum, Evan Kinney, hi there and bye, J.E., Jim Gilsonen, Kieran Chan, Kelly Wright, Lucas Little, Michael Gunter, Skater Pie, and Thomas Söderlund.